Can AI design book covers? So for those of you who don't know, there are a bunch of AI artist programs. They all work similarly, but you enter a prompt, so just type what you want and the AI creates an image. And you can get incredible results. The AI I used is called Midjourney, and I tried to create covers for some popular books. I did the typesetting myself. The AI can't do that yet. And I created some mock-ups with the real cover and the AI cover so we can compare. Anyway, let's start with a super interesting one, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I wrote knight wearing a cape, lifting his sword on a desert canyon, storm background, sparkling magic sprites. And the image it gave me looks so similar to the actual Way of Kings cover. I can't believe it. So I didn't mention the Way of Kings or Sanderson or fantasy books or anything that would make the AI grab inspiration from the original cover. But look at this. It gave me shattered plains, gave me the storm, the night. I mean, how? The sword looked like a stick, so the AI doesn't know what a sword looks like. I replaced it with what you see on the cover. It just looked silly without it. It was like, I am stick, am I right? I was able to get some other knights holding things more similar to swords, but I really like the composition of this image, so use this one. It completely ignored my magical sprite prompt though. I wanted to have Spren on the cover, but not gonna be in this one, I guess. Now obviously Michael Whelan's amazing design looks far better. It has more intention, it has great composition, it leads your eyes, it has great detail, but that painting probably took weeks. This took me like 10 minutes, and it's mostly because of the typesetting. It takes 1 minute to create an image. Overall, I'm super impressed, but what do you think? Does this cover sell you the book? Let me know in the comments. Also, only like 7% of viewers are subscribed, so I hope you take the leap on this video and subscribe. Anyway, the next cover I tried was Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I am blown away by this one, honestly. Here's my prompt first. Sci-fi space security robot wearing a helmet and armor on a spaceship, planetary rings background. And this is what I got. What? This is legit good. This is an actual cover I would use for this book. I kind of rebranded the book a bit, so I didn't call it All Systems Red. I just went with Murderbot. But like, dare I say, it's better than the original cover? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of all gray tones on the cover. It's not a dark, sad story. It's a pretty fun series, actually. I would happily have this cover on my shelf. Let me know what you think. Did the AI sell you this book? But wow, shocked. The next one is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I went with 2 different images for this one, so I did some compositing, but I actually used only 1 prompt, so the AI gives you 4 images. My prompt was magical white stag, 19th century Russian architecture, bright sun. I picked these 2 images. Here are the real covers, and here's what I ended up with. So pretty different. The stag maybe looks a bit too sinister on mine with red eyes and everything looming over the castle. The castle is pretty spot on though. It actually has white stags in the front too. I don't know, it's not terrible, but did it sell this book to you? That's what matters. Let me know. Also, this AI isn't free, so obviously not sparing any expenses for this incredibly important content, but if you enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like so YouTube shows it to more people. But let's move on. The next book is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. My prompt was 6 crows flying over 19th century industrial city, Art Deco, dark clouds, heist, magic. Here's the original cover and here's what I ended up with. I think it definitely has the right idea, but like the AI doesn't know what crows look like. It just made squiggles It is a pretty creative AI, I will say. It doesn't take things exactly literally. It does have some agency, but like that's how I would draw crows. I would just make some squiggles. People are like, oh no, AI is taking over, and AI doesn't even know what birds look like. Obviously, it's not as good as the original, but I could have tried like a crow's wing type of prompt. I wanted to show the city a bit, and I wanted 6 crows. There were 6 crows, but didn't fit on the cover. That's on me. I should have asked book cover aspect ratio. It can create images in any aspect ratio you want, but the question is, does it sell the book? I am definitely interested. It's not like a generic fantasy world for sure, but what do you think? The next one I tried really hard to make work, but the original cover is just too elaborate to replicate. It's Legends and Lattes. If you haven't seen my video, make sure to check that one out too. I went to 7 bookstore cafes in NYC and ranked lattes, but getting back to the cover, I really tried to create an attractive orc because I saw Travis Baldry's assignment for this cover, and it was that Viv needed to be attractive, no significant scars or anything. It's still an orc, but not like the Lord of the Rings orcs, right? So I wasn't able to get the AI to create a good-looking orc. Look what it gave me for this prompt. Green, beautiful face, female orc with latte, hyper-realistic, insane detail. I mean, that is cool, but not what I want for sure. These are ugly orcs. I don't want that. So what sort of did it was this prompt. Friendly female orc drinking latte. I edited the face a bit in Photoshop. It's not great with faces. Sometimes the eyes look weird, but it is getting better. The new beta version does a much better job, but I don't hate this cover. It is sloppy, but it is a friendly looking orc holding 3 cups of lattes. That's pretty cool, but does it sell the book? Perhaps. I also tried this prompt. I said monster instead of orc, so green monster making coffee using an espresso machine in a cozy wooden shop. Didn't get much better, but the AI gets creative sometimes. So it gave me this super interesting image. It made this green coffee drink. It's like absinthe coffee. It's so weird and has nothing to do with the book. So kind of misleading, but I kind of like it. Maybe it sells the book. You let me know. The next one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Once again, this cover is way too elaborate to replicate, but my prompt was massive circus tent with red ribbons, large antique street clock, red, white, black, 1920s decor, vintage. And I picked these 2 images and made them into covers. I think they both look super cool. The clock is a bit wonky, but it can be fixed in Photoshop. I didn't want to deal with it. I think they might sell the book, no? The next one I tried was Dune by Frank Herbert. I wanted to do something with the worm, and this was the closest actual cover with the worm. So my prompt was giant monster desert worm sci-fi attacking. And not hating the result, it's not a great cover, but neither is the original. I don't know, what do you think? Does it sell? It might. The next one is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. My prompt was girl wearing cloak, cut in stripes, flying over mists, cathedral, background, industrial, medieval, city. It sort of understood the prompt. I couldn't really describe a mist cloak. My keywords aren't great in that regard, but it's a mood. It has the castle, it has mists, it has the girl flying. The real covers are weird too, I think. Like, what is this cover with Vin? It's weird. The UK cover is a bit better. That's the one I bought, but still meh. So if these sold, maybe the AI cover would sell too. Who knows? And the last but not least is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Now, I already did a video recreating this cover, so if you want to see me do it, check out that video. I'll put it in the description, but I wanted to see what the AI would do, and honestly, I'm not mad. They have this genetically modified monster pomegranate on the original cover. So my prompt was extremely large pomegranate slice dripping red paint on black background. So it completely ignored my black background prompt. This is not a gray background, but it looks cool. It looks sort of like a pomegranate, but honestly, it doesn't need to be. There is no pomegranate in the book, right? I don't remember any pomegranate, but it looks like a fruit and heart combined. Even though I didn't say heart, but that was the effect I was going for because I think that's the original prompt for the cover was going for as well. I like it quite a bit, but what do you think? Would you buy this alternate gray cover? All right, that was it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your favorite cover was in the comments. I want to know what you think. In the meantime, if you would like to see a human recreate covers of books, here are 2 videos you can check, and I'll see you in the next video.